come back from the break, we are talking transparency, transformation, and trust about the Data Protection Commission of Ghana. We want to find out how fully set up is the commission?
So to have a fully functional commission, certain core services need to be provided, or to be some units need to be institutionalized and set up. So we are looking at our core business, and our main directorate is the Regulatory and Compliance Directorate. That is going to be the regulatory arm of the commission. They look at the registration of institutions, the compliance of institutions, and also the education and the awareness delivery arm of the commission. Apart from the regulatory and compliance unit, we also have the tech and ethics unit that is looking at technology. As I said to you before, we don't just look at regulating institutions for its sake. We look at also the appropriateness of technology and how technology is being used and advanced, and its implications on the rights of individuals. So we have a tech and ethics unit that has been set up. That is at its baby stage. It is being developed now. We're looking at, that is the unit that, as I said to you before, in the previous discussion we had, that needs to look at the ethics of data processing. As organizations get digitized and bulk up their data, what can they do with it? How do we control when your data is merged with mine and is being used to make decisions to benefit the whole community, for example? Well, what does the commission do? Our responsibility under Section 2A of our Act is to protect the rights of individuals and the safeguarding of how the data is to be used. So our ethics department is building capacity to look at the ethics of mass processing, and then to guide our registered data controllers on how to do things ethically. If you're going to bulk data and use it for business, then what are the do's and don'ts? Yes. How do we encourage, for example, technical innovation without being a disabler, disabling the advancement of technology? But whilst we are enabling free use of technology and encouraging innovation and creativity, we must also look at the ethics of how this is done so that it doesn't impact individuals. This is the unit that looks at these areas of work, researching what other countries are doing, what is happening in the region, what is happening on the international landscape, so that we don't keep our heads down for so long that we miss out what is happening in the world. So that the tech and ethics unit will be the unit that is focusing on that specialized area of data use. We will, at that unit, also be looking at national data governance, the structures to put in place, how big institutions access and use data, Internet of Things, how they use technology to, your mobile phone is now talking to your car is talking to the manufacturer, and GPS, your other tools are talking to your car and watching your movement, CCTV use, and all these surveillance and other methods that it's audio use, different ways of processing data. It's going to rest in the tech and ethics department. It's in a very infant stage. We are just forming that unit and trying to build capacity there. But that is one specialized unit outside the regulatory and compliance unit. The other arm of our business that is also core to data protection work, another directorate, is our legal and enforcement department that is also being set up. Very, very young unit. We need to get lawyers who are focusing on data protection and the legal challenges it presents, and doing the legal battles with the institutions that are defaulting, and defending individuals who cannot afford to assert themselves on their own in court, working with the Attorney General to support the institution to do prosecutions. All of that is going to happen in the legal and enforcement department. Then we need to build the actual enforcement unit that goes out to enforce. That is also being developed. And we are building the capacity as we go. We are looking for people who are keen and passionate to support this kind of work, to train and to establish that unit properly. In that same unit, we'll have the audit the audit arm that would begin to do random checks in institutions that are seemingly doing the right thing with data, but are not establishing themselves and doing the right things that the law mandates them to do. We have that audit arm, which we have some audit team there, but we need to build additional capacity so that we can begin to audit. So what we do, we register you, we train you, we build awareness, we create a practitioner for you, we train a practitioner, then we show them how to implement the act. When they start implementing the act, we will then randomly come and audit to see whether you're actually doing what you're supposed to do. And if you're not, then the legal and enforcement arm will kick in.
At this point, if an organization is wanting to do right by the Data Protection Commission, what are they supposed to do?
So the first thing an organization needs to do is to go online to our website, which is www.dataprotection.org.gh, and register themselves. The registration process is very simple, self-explanatory. It's a form you fill online that takes you into steps, allowing you to create a profile for your institution, registering the nominated person who will be trained as your professional, telling us who the ultimate decision maker is, who the person with the power to make decisions for the institution, and then telling us what the institution is, what sector you fall into, what data are you collecting, how are you using the data, what is the purpose of your institution, do you have any legitimate grounds to collect data or not, if so, what is it? And you tell us all of this information, and in so doing, the commission now has you on its radar. We have the sectors out there: financial sector, health sector, hospitality sector. You will fall into one or other sector, and we plan sector-specific awareness, training, empowering with your industry body, working together to steer or create a bespoke customization of the interpretation of the act in your business peak. Some bigger institutions are able to ask the commission to come in and actually train the institution and its leaders, some regional directors and their representatives around the nation, to do data protection decision making, and then train the staff to do operational staff, frontline staff, middle management staff to do data protection. So we support the institutions to understand the act after they register. We train a person for them, and then we support them to implement a data protection privacy program, which is a standardized framework that we have that they will use to implement their privacy program.
So with regard to enforcement, after all is said and done by the organization, and you realize that some organization would probably stand on the fact that probably the commission is not very well resourced, and so national awareness hasn't been too much, to ignore their mandates under the law. How does enforcement by the commission come in, and how effective has it been over the years?
So it's been very gradual. It started with no enforcement to some enforcement, and now we are really strategically planning the enforcement and delivering it. We are compiling, as I speak, the prosecution list for those who are defaulting on their responsibility and obligation to register with the commission. We are requesting that Chief Justice of the nation gives us a fast-track course so that we can quickly prosecute through those who are defaulting and also get them doing the right things. This is in a collaborative effort with complementary government agencies such as the Attorney General, such as the police, in helping us to do their raids and arrests of decision makers that are negligent with their obligation, and all of us coming together to deliver the data protection required expectations. We are working with the Cybersecurity Authority when we have to do maybe like enforcement and assessing the technology that institutions are using to process data, and the National Cybersecurity Technical Working Group, which is the national level group of all stakeholder institutions that are working to deliver multiple mandates from different complementary institutions. We work with them to deliver a very full-fledged, digitized safeguarding of data in a national cyber ecospace, which involves a whole lot of people. So if you look at the national cyber ecospace, it's not just data protection. We have cyber security, we have the police, we have immigration, we have military, we have national security, we have all the arms of government that are responsible for protecting the critical national infrastructure, which includes data. We work together to deliver the mandate.
Now, when it comes to organizations and the commission, has a relationship been created such that organizations are able to have engagements with the commission to be able to help them understand their mandate under the law, their responsibility as data controllers?
Certainly, most certainly. We have working together accredited institutions that are training these institutions and corporate bodies on our behalf. Some come directly to the commission, some go to our accredited institutions and get training. And training comes in all sorts of forms. We have generic webinars, some are free, some are paid for. The free ones are just there to improve the knowledge and awareness of these institutions and their obligations. We give them those ones out regularly. Then there are the general awareness training that we give to different sectors. Many institutions. We have connected with about 54 regulators to date, many of them who have activated the connection and are now demanding data protection licenses as part of new registrations with their industry body or with their regulatory authority. And those who they already have are having to come and get data protection license on renewal. And so if you are in that particular ecosystem, then you can't progress without having done your data protection. Many regulators are doing this. The Bank of Ghana is doing it, NPRA, they are doing it. We have the health service, we have many institutions demanding the data protection license. And this is the way we are in a catch-all effort and on a national scale, getting institutions to do the right thing.
I think that it's quite fair to say that at this point, how the Data Protection Commission has progressed, it is going beyond what is the commission doing to what the commission is actually, the pace the commission has actually created for these data controllers to be able to understand that it is your mandate to be able to do what is right under the law. We have spoken about data protection here, and we have tried to make you understand that it is a mandate as stipulated under the Data Protection Act, 2012 Act 843. Therefore, you know what you're supposed to do as a data controller. You know that this is something that you need to do to be able to even progress with business. I think that we have had a good conversation today, and I believe that viewers out there, you have also learned something. This is Privacy Focus. This is the platform that we talk about data privacy and what you need to know as your responsibility, as your right. My name is Anna Maria Emisa, your regular host. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of Privacy Focus. We will come your way again right here on Joy News.
Privacy Focus is supported by Clean Eats. Clean Eats, healthy fast food.